right, so welcome. Happy 2025, Happy New Year. I hope everyone had great holidays and spending time with friends and family, and maybe did some traveling if you had the nerve to do that. But we are happy to have you here tonight, and we're very happy to have our three mayors from our beaches to give us the State of the Beaches report for each of the beaches. So I'm Maria Mark, I'm president of Beaches Watch, and welcome. So we'll have just a few quick announcements before the presentation starts. Hold on one second. Okay. All right. So we are videotaping our meetings as we do every month. They will be on our YouTube channel tomorrow, YouTube Beaches Watch 2012. You can access it through the YouTube channel or on our website. We have kicked off our membership drive for 2025. Memberships are $15 for individual, $20 for family, and $5 for student. If you have not joined our organization or you need to renew, our lady sitting at the front table would be happy to take your money and any donation that you would like to give. Your donations actually help us, as well as your membership, help us do the community things that our organization is set up to do, such as candidate forums. We do a Give Back Award in December. We also give a scholarship to the Fletcher High School senior, and we basically just try and do, keep our community informed and do the best that we can do to make sure you're involved in good government. Okay, so we'll go ahead and recognize elected officials. Of course, we have all of our mayors from the beaches, which we will introduce when they come up. We have Sandy Golding, who is Jacksonville Beach City Council. We have Candace Kelly from Atlantic Beach. Hey, Candace. Do we have any other elected officials?
Just Morpeth just came in. He's our councilman from Neptune Beach and Bill Ford from Jackson.
Okay. Who?
Bill Ford.
Oh, okay. Okay, great, thank you. And, right, that's him. Okay.
Yeah, that's Bill.
Okay, so just a couple of things coming up with the Martin Luther King celebration, which will be Saturdays, January 18th at 11 a.m. That's going to be held at St. Paul's by the Sea Episcopal Church in Jacksonville Beach. City offices will be closed for MLK holiday Monday, January 20th. And a city meeting date change due to the holiday will be Tuesday, January 21st for Jacksonville Beach and Neptune Beach. Atlantic Beach will be hosting a town hall Saturday, January 25th at 10 a.m. That will be at the Jordan Community Center on Francis Avenue. For those who may be new to Atlantic Beach, this is something that we started many years ago to hold monthly town hall meetings and hold them in various locations in our city. That way our citizens can have an opportunity to really just come out in an informal setting, talk to the elected officials, get questions answered, air issues that they may be dealing with. So it's really informal, but it's very informative. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, February 5th. It will be here in the library, and we are happy to have a town hall with Jacksonville Mayor Donna Deegan. So make sure you save the date, put that on your calendar, and we look forward to seeing you then. Before we start with our presentations, we just kind of like to know how you guys found out about our meeting. Anybody from Nextdoor, on the Nextdoor app? Facebook? Okay. Our newsletter? Yay! Everybody's reading our newsletter. Newspaper. I guess you guys know that Beaches Leader is now going digital, so hopefully when you, hopefully you subscribe, but you can get it digitally now, so I think that's a good thing. Our website, Beaches Watch. Thank you. And just friends, word of mouth, neighbors. Good. All right. You talk to your neighbors. That's good. All right. So, the order of speaking tonight, we're going to start with the Honorable Curtis Ford, Mayor of Atlantic Beach, followed by Chris Hoffman, Mayor of Jacksonville Beach, and we'll bring in Corey Byland, newly elected Mayor of Neptune Beach. As I said, we'll have questions, Q&A after the presentations. So let me...
Thank you, Maria. While she sets that up, welcome friends and neighbors. First question I have is, how many of you are from Atlantic Beach? I don't know whether that means I'm in trouble or I'm doing good, but we're about to find out. We got a slide. So before I actually get into a few slides and share just a few tidbits about Atlantic Beach, I want to take you on a little drive through Atlantic Beach, starting at Town Center. If you drive north one block to the north side of One Ocean at Ahern Street, you see our state-of-the-art lifeguard station. We've been working on doing that for years, even back to our prior administration and Mayor Glasser. And we finally have got it going, and it will be ready, I believe, for this next season. But it's well underway. And one of the things that is unique about that lifeguard station is we will be supporting all of our equipment on the ocean front. So our lifeguard truck, our four-wheel all-terrain vehicles, our jet skis, and so on. So we believe that's a much better thing for safety and the ability to get to people quickly. But if I drive one block west on Ahern Street, I run into the brand new Grand Ocean. That's the two-story white building right behind Coop 303. State-of-the-art building there. A lot of money put into that building. But what's really unique and so exciting for us in Atlantic Beach is the major tenant occupying that building. So they have signed the ATP, the Association of Tennis Professionals. This is their international headquarters. So they're moving from Ponte Vedra to Atlantic Beach. We think that's really big. We think that's big for our neighbor Neptune Beach. There'll probably be a few people moving into both Neptune Beach and Atlantic Beach residents, and maybe even a few into Jacksonville Beach. So if we drive north on Seminole Road down to DeWeese, we have a renaming of a park that's actually being officially dedicated this Friday. That name is, again, that's Ashby, thank you. So it's going to be named Ashby Park. It was previously named after a dog for so many years, and finally we've had a request that we name it after Eleanor and her husband, Eleanor Ashby, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But if I drive back down to City Hall, take a right on Plaza, go on down to Sandpiper and take a right. I arrive at the Public Works Department. We overhauled that building, put a lot of money into it, hardened it against hurricanes and other things, put a lot of engineering work into it, but also, again, a state-of-the-art building if you have a chance and are able to go there. State-of-the-art inside, very happy about the fact that that really sets the city up for the next 30 years. If I drive across Mayport Road down Dutton Island Road all the way to Dutton Island, we have rebuilt the pier there. It's in great shape, great facility. And then if I come back up to Donner Park, if you haven't noticed, we've got 8 pickleball courts. How many pickleball courts for Neptune Beach?
Oh my goodness, I don't know.
I think Mayor Hoffman has 6, and so 8 in that venue.
Too many.
So we've got 8 pickleball courts now. We are almost always being used and often at capacity. So very excited about that. But right next to that is the splash pad. And this past year was our first year. We went through our trials and tribulations, but it seems to have been well received. I think that's a good addition to the city of Atlantic Beach. I certainly hope so in the future. But then if I drive all the way up to over to the southwest corner of the city, Veterans Memorial Park, which is adjacent to Atlantic Boulevard and right there at Mayport Atlantic. We acquired a new building. We are putting that into service this year. We've got funding for a number of things we're doing. That'll be a new community building, and we'll see what we name it. I hope it's going to be Marsh Oaks Community Center, but that's in the future to be decided. So that's coming along. And then finally, Tide Views. We've rebuilt much of the pier there, so in great shape on our facilities. I just wanted to share that getting started. So that's actually a picture of Dutton Island, the pier. It looks pretty nice. It's a pretty big picture. You can see it down at the bottom left of it. You can see the boat ramp or the launch ramp. I did want to mention we had two commissioners up for re-election, and of course me as mayor. But the only commissioner that had an opponent was Commission Seat 3. That's Thomas Grant. He won his race right in the middle, so he's addition. But Bruce Bowl had no one run against him, so he's in for another 4 years. This one I'm very, very happy about. Very pleased to say, in late 2023, when we were doing budgeting and setting up our millage for the subsequent year, we rolled back the millage rate to now the lowest millage rate, the lowest ad valorem tax rate in Northeast Florida. And what was important is we did it without reducing services. And we also continued to maintain a healthy reserve. So the reserves have to be maintained against the general fund. We're actually pushing 50% in reserves on the general fund, and our requirements as a city are 25%, so we're really at almost double what we would need to have. But happy to say that we are the lowest millage in Northeast Florida. Engaged citizens is so important for our city. Atlantic Beach has some of the best committees and boards. I just want to say here now, for those who are in Atlantic Beach, if you're not already serving on one of my committees, I need you. We need the talent. So I won't say any more about that. I think, Maria, I think you mentioned about our town halls. We actually have 4 town halls a year. They're quarterly. And we do rotate them around in our various community centers. This one is really, really important to me. It's we saved Atlantic Beach Elementary, and we all went through this. And if you're in Duval County, you went through this. We all worried about closure of quality schools. This was so important to me. I think having a high-quality school in any city is the bedrock of a healthy, vibrant community, and Atlantic Beach is certainly that. And I just want to say, as I got involved in this, I learned more and more about the legacy families and students that had graduated from Atlantic Beach Elementary. And what was interesting is some of these young people moved away from the city and literally moved back to raise their children so they could go to Atlantic Beach Elementary. So it was extremely important to me and to, I think, everybody here, and I won't say any more on that, but the importance of it cannot be understated, and I think I can punctuate it with this. I started speaking to the children at Atlantic Beach Elementary over a year ago at their award ceremonies, and I remember the very first one I spoke, and I said to the children, this was a packed auditorium, and I said, one day, one of you will be mayor of Atlantic Beach. I didn't say, maybe one of you will be. I said, one of you will be mayor of Atlantic Beach. What we have when we have quality schools is we have teachers and principals like Ms. Gallagher that are raising our leaders for tomorrow. And not, I think it was a month ago, I ran into one of the parents and he said to me, he said, Mayor, I just have to tell you, a couple of days ago, my son told me that one day he's going to be mayor of Atlantic Beach. And I thought, and he didn't even know that I had told the children this, so I thought, we're getting the message through, right? So I think that's important. This is Ashby Park. What was it called before?
Marvin's Garden.
Marvin's Garden. So Marvin was a dog. We had a little debate over whether we should rename the park, but I have to tell you, the Ashbys really deserve this honor. So Eleanor Ashby is noted for so many community things, including her investment of time at Atlantic Beach Elementary. But the one thing that resonated with me is that Eleanor was on the committee or the group that was the initial group that started Leadership Jacksonville. And I believe, wasn't that over 20 years ago? Yes, it's a long time ago. So, so the Ashbys will be recognized, and we've got that set up for this Friday if you have a chance to come out. Bill, what time will we do that?
3:30.
3:30? Okay. So, let's see. The capital improvements, that's the lifeguard station again, that's the Public Works building. I will touch briefly on the Dora Drive stormwater management area. We acquired that property this past year. We won't really have much on design for a bit. We've got to raise some money to do that work, but that's another stormwater project. It's important to Atlantic Beach. So one of the things that we really have put a press on this past year is taking care of existing infrastructure. And I was just talking to, is it Jay or
Trey.
Trey is actually doing our clean out of our swales and our ditch areas in Atlantic Beach, and I thank you for that because that's existing and that matters. We found out over the last few years that sometimes we get heavy rainfall in a short period of time, and so keeping the ditches clean is important. But a future project will be the Dora Drive project. We acquired approximately 3 acres for that. We'll be designing that. But lest I forget, if anybody here knows about aquatic gardens, that's a problem. Thankfully, we finally are back in front of the Department of Emergency Management to approve our rewrite of the project to at least solve much of that flooding or give remediation to that flooding. So very, very soon we'll get that approval. We're ready. We've got an agreement already signed with a contractor, and we'll go to work on it. And it is my hope, and I know City Manager Bill Killingsworth, we both hope very much that we can get that done, or at least well underway before next hurricane season. You see this one is Parks and Recreation. I already mentioned some of these things, but I just wanted to showcase our pickleball courts. I guess we all know pickleball is kind of important these days. What we found out, I mean, think about all the people, what we realized is on the same square footage of land, we can serve 4 to 8 times as many citizens when the courts are full as we were doing with tennis courts. But I don't want to send the wrong message. Tennis is still important. It's important in Atlantic Beach. And City Manager Killingsworth and I are collaborating and hope to have a conversation with the Commission about how to install additional tennis courts, or at least support better our tennis needs in the city of Atlantic Beach. And I compliment my city manager. And by the way, he's sitting right there on the corner, so I'm going to put him on the spot. Raise your hand. I compliment Bill because he went to Tallahassee a couple of weeks ago and met with the USTA, is that USTA? Tennis Association, to talk to them about how they can help us help our tennis community, and they're all in. So one, will get their guidance, 2, will get some of their money, and I hope to be investing even more fully in tennis in Atlantic Beach. This community partnerships, I'm not going through all of them. They're so important to have them. Mission House is so important, and if you're not engaged with Mission House, you need to be. They are doing a fabulous job out of Jacksonville Beach, but for all of the Beaches community. But I want to compliment Beaches Habitat for Humanity. As some of you know, I came from there. Beaches Habitat is just cleared 4 acres of property on the west side of Mayport Road. You can see it, it's very visible right next to Autoline, and that will be their next community of, I forget, 38 or 58, I think it's a lot of homes. It's not in Atlantic Beach, but you can bet it will serve Atlantic Beach, and it'll serve Neptune Beach, and I believe it'll serve Jacksonville Beach, so that's big. But here's the really big one, our community partnership with the Boys and Girls Club. So Our after-school program at both Donner and Jordan Park is now being administered by the Boys and Girls Club, including our summer program. They are so professional. I have to compliment them. Thank you for the 5-minute warning. I have to compliment them and say, if other beach cities are interested in hearing about it, please contact Bill or myself, and we'll give you more information. But they're doing a fabulous job, and the kids are just thriving on it. So, we continue with our capital improvement plan. I'm going to share something with you that's not on my slide today, and it's a secret, so I'm going to ask you, please do not take it out of this room. But we are in dialogue with, and we have preliminary drawings from the TPO, that's the Traffic Planning Organization of Northeast Florida, to install a roundabout at the 5-way stop in Atlantic Beach in front of the police department and City Hall. And it's exciting. Let me tell you, it's so exciting. I'm not even going to try to describe it to you because it's an unusual design. But for those who have worried all these years that that's impossible, it's too small of an area to put a roundabout in, the people at the TPO are so smart, and they designed something very unique that I think is going to work very well. And of course, safety and functionality is paramount, and the ability to get fire engines in and out, that's so important. But we hope to be moving quickly on this. Now, normally something like this would be 4 or 5 years out. Bill and I are conspiring to try to move that a little farther along, and to that end, I actually am now a voting member of the TPO in Northeast Florida, so I'll make sure that I'm staying involved in that. Let me just wind down and say this. My hope for the future, and starting right now, this year, is that the 3 beach communities continue to work well together, but even stronger. I have a great relationship with former Mayor Brown, delighted to now have a relationship with Corey Byland, Mayor Corey Byland, and it being sister cities, it is so important that we work together. And of course, Jacksonville Beach, even though you're down the road. But one of the most important things, and I want to share this with you, is stormwater management. So Neptune Beach and Atlantic Beach have something unique called Town Center. We share that. We both have development going on both sides. Obviously, Shad Khan and his potential development, the Kmart Plaza, those are impacts on stormwater. Our recent sale to a new owner of One Ocean gives an opportunity for them to possibly develop that parking lot area that separates One Ocean from Ocean Boulevard, which would be an impact on stormwater for us. So we are going to hopefully collaborate on that significantly. A second one that all 3 beach communities can collaborate on together is bicycle safety. It is so important. We're all grappling with it. We're all trying to move the ball on it, but we need to be talking in tandem about what to do. So more to come on this. I thank you for listening. Atlantic Beach is in good shape, and I'll take questions later after the next 2 speakers. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Chris Hoffman, Mayor of Jacksonville Beach, and I'm keeping my own time here too, just so I can. I'm really glad to go second and in front of Neptune Beach because Mayor Byland is continuing Mayor Brown's long-standing tradition of having Martin Scorsese produce and direct her video for the State of the Beaches, so I'm excited to see that, and I'm glad I don't have to go after it. So how many Jackson Beach residents? Oh, you guys were all Atlantic Beach residents a minute ago. Glad to see you, glad to be here in person. You probably were on our candidate forum in the fall. I don't know if you guys know, there was an election in November, and it was pushed back thrice or twice, and when we finally held it, it was via Zoom. I'd much rather be in person and see your faces and hopefully hear you laughing at my jokes, or not. So we'll see how it goes. This is our current city council, and you can see one of these headshots is not like the other. That's Bruce Wouters, who, while there were 4 contested seats, Bruce was the only change in incumbent. So he ran against Fernando Mesa and was successful. So he has recently joined our council. You met Bill Horn and Sandy Golding, who are here today, and also want to introduce back in the corner there our city manager, Mike Stefopoulos. He gets wave, Mike. Everybody look back, make it happen. So we are, as all the 3 beach cities, we're city council, or city manager, city council form of government. So this is the team that works together for our council. Our communications director, I did cheat a little bit. Our communications director put this presentation together for me, and I think he just wanted to make me say liquid sodium hypochlorite, which is why this slide is here. But no, one of the big things, and actually let's go back a year, and if you can remember, about 11 months ago, we got a sneak attack from a cyber event in our city. So it was a huge, huge impact, and it was akin to a hurricane hitting our community, but only hitting City Hall. That's what it felt like. Because everyone else, all of our residents wanted to be business as usual and get the things done that they needed to do, get their permits, they didn't want to get their parking tickets, but they needed to get them. Things like that we couldn't do for quite some time. And our city really rallied together and worked through a really, really difficult time. So all of these things that we did for the rest of the year were kind of under that shadow. So we learned a lot, and as you can imagine, have made some changes, but we've really come through that very successfully. This was one thing that we did, probably not front page of the Beaches leader, but we switched from gas chlorine to liquid, and this was a big turnover in terms of how we administer our chlorine into our water system. It's definitely a big public safety move for us. Along those lines, anybody interested in knowing if we put fluoride in our water? We do not add fluoride to our water, but it is naturally occurring in the aquifer, which is where we get our water. So I've only gotten that question once so far, which is surprising to me. You gotta love a good catchy name. You really want to sell a project. This is the 900-day project. You can see the map there. It's kind of just south of our downtown on east of 3rd. And this is a huge project. If you anyone live in this area? You can tell they're tired, their cars are covered in dust, but it's a huge project that's really going to benefit our entire city with stormwater, water mains, repaving, parking, all sorts of things that are going on there. There is a very active website that you can follow along with the progress, and you can see the different zones that are being worked on and when. And I think we're ahead, dare I say, big nod from the city manager. So we're a little bit ahead there. We'll take it. We also replaced 17 dune walkovers. These have, we had to raise them, not only because of sea level rise, but we got a plaque from Brown, thank you, but because of our dune height. Our dunes are doing really, really well, so we need to be able to get up and over them. To the dismay of people pulling strollers and pushing wagons and things like that, but we had to be able to go over the dunes. I don't have to tell you guys how important those dunes are to our community. These are a little bit out of order. I played around with the order of things and didn't really think through it. So we added Jack's Beach Country Fest this year. Did anybody go out to that? So this was, Gavin Brown again, thank you, I'm so glad you're here. This was a really fun event. This was produced by the city of Jacksonville Beach, and we signed an artist, and in between signing the contract and the actual event, he had a #1 single. So it was like, I don't know if it's ever going to happen like that again, but we were very happy to take advantage of it. It was a really fun event on a Sunday afternoon there in Jacksonville Beach. And then something else we've started doing are Seawalk sessions. We really want to activate that Seawalk and that Latham Plaza area, not on weekends or big festival events. So these are on a weeknight. They have a local singer-songwriter typically, and then they bring out a food truck. So very easy, bring a chair, bring a blanket, and come out and enjoy those concerts. Speaking of Latham Plaza, we've gone back and forth on a lot of different plans to redesign the area, again with the intent to make it really useful and active and vibrant even when there's not a festival, or deck the chairs, things like that, but to still be great venues for those. So we've backed a little off of kind of the big dramatic plans that you might have seen, and we're focusing on the west side of Latham Plaza, right across from City Hall. So if you can see, there's a little brown rectangle there, and that's going to be a smaller stage. So we'll use that for sea walk sessions and things like that. There's some seating, there's more shade. That area is really thankless in terms of shade if you go out there, because most of it is clear for tents and vendors and things like that. So we've got a lot of, there's some public art, there's some, not playground equipment, but things that kids will be interested in. So we're really hoping to activate that area on other non-festival days and weekends. Hopefully you have seen some public art. The top left is the back of the Seawalk Pavilion. So that is a huge mural done by an internationally known artist. My favorite thing is along the bottom, those little surfboards. Do you know what those are? They're bike racks. So anytime we can add bike racks, I'm doubly happy if they look like art, although hopefully people will know that they're bike racks and not park their bikes there. But those are bike racks. And then along the bottom right, this is where the Veterans Memorial area was at 2nd and Beach, thank you, right behind the Walgreens parking lot. I don't know if that's a good landmark for you, but this is another beautiful piece of art. It's worth taking a walk around and looking at it. It's supposed to be kind of a progression into the depths of the ocean, and it's these little hand-made mosaic tiles that are really, really cool. Again, another internationally known artist. And then in our downtown CRA area, and I want to recognize Gary Paytow is here, who's the newly appointed chair of the Community Redevelopment Agency. This is one of the programs that they have put together, which is a facade grant, where we can offer grants to businesses in our downtown area to improve their facades. So maybe it's an overhang, maybe it's painting. Can they do landscaping with that? I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Anyway, these are some of the businesses that have taken advantage of that, so they get reimbursed for their facade improvements. And then moving out, we're not taking a driving tour per se, that was a really good idea. Gonzalez Park, which was a very underutilized park right in the middle of our city, with a complete overhaul. Has anybody been out to Gonzalez Park? Has anybody been out there to play pickleball? Show yourself. No? You don't like pickleball either?
Nope.
So we did add pickleball, we did not add lighting, but we did a beautiful playground. It's on that turf with some shade structures. I think there's 4 pickleball courts there, basketball courts, and I mean, even before this project was done, because I drive by it every day, they were putting temporary nets up. Y'all pickleballers are serious. They were putting temporary nets up and playing, and even the basketball, they were putting nets on the hoops and playing out there before we opened it, but you can see the ribbon cutting there. We actually just added a whole bunch of trees around the perimeter of the park that were through Jacksonville's tree program. So that park has come a long, long way. I know you guys probably remember kind of the gazebos there that were kind of a homeless hangout during the day, and this park has done a 180. It's very vibrant, active, all day, every day. And then this is renderings of a passive park. This is going to be down in the south end, kind of right near, you can see the street there is Jacksonville Drive, and this would be South Beach Parkway. So it's really just an overgrown area that we're going to put some pathways through. I think there's going to be some water bottle fillers and some signage and things like that. And this is in our south end CRA district, so that's going to be a great improvement coming as well. Anybody heard of Urban Trails? So we do have, urban trails are still on the table. We actually got a big federal grant where we're going to be focusing on the area around the schools. And I don't know if they timed it like this on purpose, but we did a National Walk to School Day, and so we walked with the entire school, San Pablo Elementary. We walked the entire area around the block, and it's horrible. I mean, there's places where the sidewalk just ends and it doesn't start again. So I don't know if the timing was on purpose, but we were like, yes, we need to do some better trails, bike paths. That's a school where kids walk and ride their bikes big time. Same with Seabreeze. Anybody recognize the picture on the right? I'm surprised nobody's asked me about this so far today. This is the pier parking lot and the bane of my existence. This was the area that we closed. It used to be a few parking spots there. This is the Spring Hill on the right, and straight ahead you can see the pier building. This was an area that we closed down when they were doing the pier repairs after Irma and Matthew, and it was kind of the laydown lot for some of their construction equipment. It was then the laydown lot for Spring Hill Suites and a little bit for Starbucks, the little Starbucks that's in the corner of the hotel there. And we've had a plan, we've gotten some DEP approval. Hasn't moved quite as fast as I would like to see it move. And most of the community would like to see it move, but it is moving. There's a dumpster there on the left that is being relocated, and then the rest of the work will progress. So this isn't going to be parking spots, it's going to be kind of a drive-through where you can drop things off. If you're a fisherman going to the pier, you can drop things off there, and then you can actually enter into the larger parking lot there. Of course, bike racks and other amenities that we want to have right in that really, really busy area. So I'm very excited to see that chain link fence come down. Right, Mike? He's tired of hearing me talk about it. And then this was two really big things that we've been working on over, gosh, the past 2+ years. One of them is our comprehensive plan. We did a wholesale review of this plan, and we were guided by
Kimley Horn.
Kimley Horn, thank you. So we brought in professionals to help us go through this. We had, with both this and our land development code, we had countless community meetings. We had meetings with each of our citizen boards, and we really went through this with a fine-tooth comb. And we have approved our comprehensive plan, and it has been submitted in its final version. And then our land development LDC update is now in draft form, and it is available on our website for review. So if you have a couple spare hours and want to thumb through it, or at least go to the highlights, things that you're interested in particular, we definitely welcome your feedback on that. And the city council will, or I think the planning commission is going to be approving it, then it'll go to the city council, and then we will have a big check in the box for finishing that really massive project. This is something that happened late last year. We were able to vote through some, and in conjunction with our police union, a really big pay increase, especially for our starting officers. You guys know that we had a really a big shortfall there for a while. So we were able to increase our starting pay as well as bump up all of the other levels. This was a big deal for us, but not only is the pay important, but we also need to really focus on the tools, time, and the training. So some of the tools that we added or expounded upon were our camera system throughout our downtown and other high traffic areas, as well as license plate readers. So some of our squad cars are now equipped with license plate readers, which is a great tool for them to have as we're looking at suspicious vehicles, anyone may be causing problems in our downtown area or really throughout our city. This was the newsman is gone. This might be why he was here. We had a meeting in December. You guys might have seen this on the news. Councilman Diamond is provoking some conversation on this. House Bill 1365 is regarding the homeless camping. It just went into effect in October, and then enforcement began in January. We can get into this if anyone wants to ask questions on it, but at this table are representatives from the City of Jacksonville, JFRD, JSO, Mission House, Salzbacher. All three of the beaches communities were represented there because we wanted to make sure that if Jacksonville is solving their problem, it's not making more problems for us, and that all of us at the beaches are kind of speaking from the same sheet of music there, because we don't want to kind of push the problem around from one community to the other. Few new developments, breaking news, in that South End, South Beach Plaza, I remember it as the Kmart Plaza, some in Food Line, remember that? There's where Huey Magoo's is right across the street. Has anybody been driving by that wondering what that's going to be? It's going to be a Shake Shack. Is that good? I don't think I've ever been to a Shake Shack. And then a TJ Maxx is going in where Bed Bath & Beyond was. It's not going to be an indoor pickleball court. Stop asking. Some of our communications that we have, I want to really encourage you, you don't have to be a Jacksonville Beach resident. Please sign up to receive our newsletter, The Beach Life. It's a monthly email, and it'll give you all these updates. Like basically, I'm just giving you a presentation of last month's Beach Life. So sign up for that. It's really interesting. We're not going to overwhelm your inbox. Take Two Tuesdays are a new kind of a video that goes on social media that focuses on a topic, so it'll help you learn. This last one was about code enforcement. So you meet the code enforcement officer, learn a little bit more about that. And then we are just about to start tomorrow, in fact, the 50th running of the Citizen Police Academy. I know some of you guys have done CPA. Not as many as I thought. Okay, you guys need to sign up for the 51st because this one is full. It's going to be really great. It's a great way to learn about the police department. You do not have to be a Jacksonville Beach resident to go through that. And then we also started a few years ago the Citizen Information Academy, which is an opportunity to learn about each of our departments and really kind of get hands-on with the city and city staff. I'm really excited about our council chamber improvements. So if you've ever tried to watch a video of our council meetings, it's like watching through a security camera at a department store. So we are making improvements to the council chambers for not only the people who are sitting in the room, but the people who are trying to watch a council meeting from afar. Oh, the Blue Angels are coming back. How much time do I have? I don't have enough time for this, but I will say one thing, in all three of our beaches cities really keep a close eye on legislative issues. Tallahassee, the session starts in March this year, and we have a keen eye on anything that takes local control away from our city governments, which means they're taking it further away from you as the citizen. So that's called home rule, and it's something we work on diligently. One of the big issues for us always is short-term, for us, not as much for the other cities, is short-term vacation rentals, but really the folks in Tallahassee, there is no end to what they can come up with that tries to take away authority from our local governments and from you as citizens, so we really keep an eye on that. And I think Beaches Watch does a great job educating you about those issues as well. Contact information, please follow us on social media, as well as our police department does a great job with their social media, and I look forward, am I done? Saw you ready with the stop sign. Looking forward to hearing your questions after the production that is to come.
I'm going to give a little intro to the intro. I'm Corey Byland. I'm the newly elected mayor of Neptune Beach, and so I'm our newest mayor. Our other mayors have all served one term, and I've been mayor for all of a little bit over a month. I think I was maybe a mayor for 1 or 2 days when I got a call from Sandy Golding. Okay, it's time to get ready for our State of the City address in January, and since I'm not new to Beaches Watch, I knew about the little trick of calling down to City Hall and saying, hey, can you guys make me a video? So I look forward to showing you all of that, but I do have a couple of things that I want to say. People ask me, how's it going? I am new, and I just have to tell you all, it's going great. And it wouldn't be going great if I didn't have such amazing people working in our City Hall. Many of them are here tonight, and I didn't have to beg them. They just showed up to support me. I have, Ricardo and Ryan from our IT to make sure that my video was queued up. My city manager, Ricky Pike, is here. My chief of police, Mike Key, is here. I think Colin was here. Colin is here. Tim Horvath is here from my city council. And I even have city councilmen of past councils here. Carrie Chin is here. Scott Wiley is here. I have the best support system ever. So I am going to ask, like the other mayors did ask, how many people are from Neptune Beach? Because I think I might be just preaching to the choir tonight.
It's all your staff.
I do. It's my staff and it's my husband. But my husband hasn't seen the video yet, and my other husband, my next door neighbor, is here. So but they haven't seen the video, so we're all good. But anyway, so I had to give credit because this transition has been smooth. They started preparing me by being very even-handed during the campaign process. So they were doing everything that they could so that whoever was elected could hit the ground running. And that's exactly what happened. The day after the election, I was down at City Hall and I was meeting with people right away. So I'm very happy to hit play on the video, and I will be here afterward to take questions from everybody. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Corey Byland, and I'm your new mayor of Neptune Beach. I'm looking very forward to working with our city council, Josh Messenger, Mia Livingston, and I'd like to welcome our two newest city councilors, Brett Rogers and Tim Horvath. We are all here to serve you, the people of Neptune Beach. In the interest of serving you better, we are working on these new portal devices to get from point A to point B faster and more efficiently. So, with that, we're going to be seeing a little bit about the state of our city tonight. I'm going to turn it over to our city manager, Ricky Pike. Take it away, Ricky.
Thank you, Mayor Byland. Hi, I'm Richard Pike. I'm the city manager here at Neptune Beach, and I want to say how proud I am of our employees and our staff for the job they've done this year. It's been amazing what they've been able to accomplish in the last couple of years, and we have so much more left to do and so much more going on. And staff is definitely looking forward to working with our new city council members. We got a lot to do, and they're going to hit the ground running because we have a lot going on. But real quick, I want to tell you that I'm standing right here in our beautiful Beaches Town Center in front of the City Hall. If you have not had a chance to come up and see the Christmas lights, try to make it before they take them down here in the next few days. It's really gorgeous that they've added lights and new decorations, and it really looks nice. Just if you can make it up, just try to get up here and see that before they take them down. And I'll see you on the beach. Started talking about some of our projects. I just want to take a second. This is our backyard here in Neptune Beach, and it's unbelievable. This is really, when you think about it, what an honor and privilege it is to live and work here. But I've got a real quick story I want to tell you. Many years ago, when I was a young police officer, I'd come down to the beach in the wintertime, and it would look like this. And I would always think about some poor cop up north working a 10-car pileup in the freezing, blowing snow and rain. And I'm thinking I'm standing here on the beach in Neptune Beach. But anyway, back to business. We got two projects going on. Our phase 2 of Jarlow Park is the engineering is underway. We're going to be redoing the parking and the play fields. I think it's going to turn out really nice. Also, we have the engineering that's being done on our two culverts at Florida and Forest. They've both been flooding out recently on some of our bad storms and hurricanes, so we're going to have those raised, so that will end that issue there. Hopefully that will be starting within the next year or so. But like I said, it's an honor and privilege to be down here, and I'll turn it over now to Chief of Police Mike Key.
Hi, I'm Michael Key, Chief of Police for your Neptune Beach Police Department. I'd like to share some of our key achievements from this past year. We prioritize traffic enforcement, especially for e-bikes, with educational campaigns and now strict enforcement to enhance public safety. Expect citations for reckless operation as we focus on compliance for the new year. During hurricane season, we supported Suwannee County after Hurricane Helene, which strengthened our disaster response capabilities and our partnerships. We introduced new technologies including live scan and rapid ID fingerprinting, in-car cameras with license plate readers, and body cameras, all funded by federal grants. These achievements aim to improve public safety and deter crime. We're also preparing to launch a school safety speed camera program next year. Additionally, our officers received upgraded body armor through a U.S. Department of Justice grant, enhancing protection and load-bearing capabilities. Looking ahead, we're committed to continuous improvement and delivering the best law enforcement services. Thank you for your support. Stay safe, take care of yourself and each other, and most importantly, be kind. Now, let's head over to Public Works.
Hello, I'm Gerald Calhoun, Public Works Director for the City of Neptune Beach. 2024 saw outstanding progress in our public services and utilities, and we're looking forward to great things in 2025. I'll be highlighting a few of those projects for you today. Let's head over to the wastewater plant. Here at our wastewater facility, 2024 continued work began in 2023 and has led to dramatic improvement in treatment performance. Our treatment effluent is truly one that everyone can be proud of. Staff was very busy completing just over $1 million in capital improvements in our water and wastewater business. Now let's head over to City Hall. City Hall received a new roof in 2023, and in 2024 the exterior received stucco repairs and a watertight coating. Lighting and landscaping upgrades here capped off a truly great project. Now let's head over to the water plant. I'm here on Forest Avenue to tell you about two important projects on our potable water system. In 2023, we began renovations on our water tower. There were many repairs, blasting surfaces, and new coatings both inside and out. And to finish it off, this is Fletcher Country with stencil on the exterior. In 2024, we also finished design and permitting for a new potable water well that's large enough to replace two failing wells that were constructed in 1938 and 1944. Construction is to begin in January, and the cost of this project is approximately $900,000. Now let's head back to Public Works to wrap up. In our stormwater utility, design was completed in 2024 for improvements on portions of Myra, Margaret, and South Streets. Following a series of workshops with residents, City Council approved a strategic plan in 2023, and this project is the first of many to come. The project is currently expected to bid in January 2025 and will include a number of stormwater inlets and related piping to alleviate localized flooding. Total construction value is expected to be over $1 million. And finally, in our wastewater collection system, design is complete and permitting soon underway for an extension of a wastewater pressure pipe along Forest Avenue, which will reduce flow in the existing pipeline. This project will reduce chances for an overflow event during peak flows. Thanks for listening. We in Public Works, thank you for all of your support.
I'm Colin Moore, Parks and Sustainability Director for Neptune Beach. Two of our major projects of 2024 were the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Shore Protection Project and the completion of Phase 1 improvements to Jarboe Park. For Neptune Beach section of the Nourishment Project, over 130,000 cubic yards of sand have been added to the beach and dunes, and over 50,000 sea oats have been planted. In 2025, we'll be updating our dune protection signage with student artwork from Neptune Beach Elementary at all our beach accesses. This year at Jarboe Park, we resurfaced a section of the fitness path and added wider bridges to reroute the East Coast Greenway to provide a safer crossing of A1A at the recently installed Bay Street signalized crosswalk. Additional shade trees and fitness equipment for this section of trail are planned for 2025. Also, we will be breaking ground on Phase 2 park improvements that include parking upgrades and a major refurbishment of the multi-use field.
Thanks so much, Colin, and thank you to everybody down at City Hall who made this video possible. We now know a little bit more about the state of our city. I'm very excited for what 2025 is going to bring for Neptune Beach. Thank you, everyone, and Happy New Year.
And the Oscar goes to Neptune Beach. So before we start the Q&A, just a couple of guidelines to let you know so that we can get as many questions in as possible. Please raise your hand and wait till you've been called on. I do have a wireless mic that I will bring to you so your question can be heard in the room. Identify to whom you're addressing your question, if it's to one mayor or all three. And please keep your questions brief and non-personal. Refrain from giving background or opinion statements in order to allow as many questions to be asked within the allotted time. So,
Like, we want to put one of those portal things in our budget for next year. So Jackie and I are already storyboarding my video for next year. So bring popcorn, guys. I'm just saying.
okay.
For
my question is mostly for Chris, but everyone was there, so I'd like to hear more about the meeting you had regarding homelessness and cooperation between and among the beaches.
So if you haven't been following this issue, the city of Jacksonville has been working for quite some time on putting a plan together in response to House Bill 1635, thank you. 1365. The House bill regarding homeless camping. So they've been meeting for quite some time. They put Dr. Tracy Polson and Joshua Hicks from the mayor's administration as the point people, and they came up with kind of a multifaceted plan. One of them is a co-responder with JFRD. There's a pathway home. Homeward Bound. I have a little bit of a head cold, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like on a 2-second delay. Thank you. So they've been putting some pieces into place, as well as adding some more homeless shelter beds. And my question and kind of the underlying reason for bringing this meeting together was to ask the question of how does that impact the citizens of Jacksonville Beach and of the beaches, all 3 beaches. And we're a consolidated government. We are part of Duval County. So some things we are included in and some things we are not. Councilman Rory Diamond really hit on the fact that he thought that we were included in these programs, but we in fact were not included in these programs for a variety of different reasons, and not necessarily with any intention, in large part because the problem of camping on public property is not necessarily a problem that we see here like they do. If you drive downtown in Jacksonville, you do see literally tents on public property. So there was a couple different reasons, but from the city's perspective, as well as from the nonprofit organization's perspective, if they start to solve the problem downtown, that may push the problem to the beaches, and we need to vocalize that and all be on the same page that that is an unintended side effect that may happen. And we don't have the resources here. We do not have shelters at the beaches. We do not have the resources that they have right in our downtown area. So it was the first conversation of probably many. And Ellen Glasser with the Beaches Homeless Coalition was there as well. Mission House Representative Salzbacher, I think I mentioned earlier. So we had all the right people in the room to have that conversation. Thank you. Next question? She asked it to me. Everybody.
Well, you did a great job. I'm just gonna add that Mayor Hoffman mentioned the programs with the JFRD and with the Homeward Bound, and this program comes with compassion, and the next piece of this is going to be some sort of uniform procedure or code that's going to hopefully go all up and down the beaches so that one of our communities is not more attractive than another to the people who are, coming into the beaches that are homeless. So we want to make sure that we are all on the same page and treating everybody the same and handling the situations the same, because the resources really are all downtown, and they really do want the people that are homeless to go downtown and get those resources, because that's part of how they get their funding, is if they get the numbers and get the people to go to their programs. So, I think that everybody feels like they want people to be taken care of with compassion, but they need to be brought to the place where they can get the services, and that's downtown, and everybody agrees about that.
So I was not at the meeting. I was traveling, certainly aware of it, and I think you're part of it. We have a Zoom or a Teams call with Mayor Deegan's office next week to discuss this, because a certain city councilman from Jacksonville believes that we were unfairly left out at the beach. No surprise there, but so that's going on. But I do want those of you, not just Atlantic Beach residents, but all beach residents, if you drive Mayport Road, you know where the Mayport Road splits with A1A. You know there's an old closed derelict Amoco station there that's become a hub for a homeless camp that is being addressed. Councilman Diamond has taken it upon himself and is pushing the issue. He tracked down, I actually tried to track down the owner of that, because what you have to have for the JSO to operate and move people off of the property, they have to have a trespass affidavit signed by the owner of the property. Well, anyways, the property recently sold. Rory Diamond tracked them down, I think, and so hopefully they'll get that trespass affidavit done soon to get to the JSO, to our sheriff of Jacksonville, so they can enforce no camping there. That's the issue. And it's not about being heartless and pushing and moving people on. We all understand that homeless people have got to be somewhere. But we really don't want an encampment in any of our cities like that. So that's what's being done.
And just really quickly, one of the statistics Mission House provided us kind of with a state of what they were seeing, and they did some kind of point-in-time surveys, and the people that they were serving in November and December were not from even Jacksonville, so a very high proportion. So it is a very transient mobile population, and we just need to be very careful and delicate with how we handle that. Good question. Thank you.
Hi, Mayor Hoffman, Trey from Rockaway Landscaping. Curious about the Center Media Islands on 3rd Street, from 2nd Street South all the way up north until about 7th Street, I believe. The median islands on 3rd Street. They've been very barren for the longest time. I wonder if there was any type of, if you all control those or the state control, if you could talk about that.
Trey, I just want to say Rockaway does an amazing job. My day job is the executive director of the Beaches Museum. Cannot say enough good things. I did not plant this question. I noticed our city manager was chatting with his colleague while you were asking it. Can you just stand up and turn that way and repeat the question?
The 3rd Street medians. Is there a plan for those? Does Jack's Beach Public Works do that? Or does the state own those medians?
Specifically right across from City Hall that look really barren compared to the ones right across from Whole Foods.
Right.
Yeah, those are going to be worked on in the next few months for replacement landscaping and advancing.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I will say someone in their infinite wisdom planted those grasses. Muley grasses, I learned that from Rockaway. And there were pedestrians going into those medians all the time that instead of, now we have a nice little crosswalk over there, and so it was dangerous for a while, so I think we just pulled them all out and did not have a plan to put anything back in. So I'm glad to hear, did you get that on tape? So they will be worked on in the next couple of months. Okay, thank you, great question.
I was told they would be done.
Hold on.
Around the springtime.
Of this year, though?
Yeah, this year.
So, of this year, around the springtime is everything, by the way, everything happens in a couple of months. I've noticed that. So, in a couple of months. Hopefully, I will not be saying that again next year, but you are welcome to ask that same question next year, and we'll see.
Hi, I'm Steve Curtis at Atlantic Beach. Question for you, but actually it's for all mayors. How does, what's the biggest challenge of working with Duval County, and what's the biggest benefit? Because I'm in the city of Jacksonville now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm standing in the city of Jacksonville, actually.
Yeah.
So I was just as a newcomer, maybe you could go over each mayor could just.
Jacksonville and Duval County are the same.
The biggest challenge of working with Duval County, the city of Jacksonville, and the biggest opportunity, the biggest benefit, because I understand Duval County is a big city. So
It's a big city, yeah. So I'm gonna give a benefit, and I'll let Mayor Ford go with the biggest downside. Because there's a lot of his city that people don't know where Atlantic Beach ends and Jacksonville begins. I don't even. Do you know? I know. Here's a big benefit, though, and it is in storm time. When we have to activate the Emergency Operations Center, this county emergency operation pulls together and I don't have any other experience, but I know from hearing about other communities in Florida that you have a lot of rivalry and dissent between between the city governments and the county governments, and if they're completely separate. So here we're all the same. So there are some things where we want to be treated the same, and there's some things where we're like, no, we want to do our thing out at the beaches. But when it comes to emergency operations, the procedures and the unified command and just how the communications are handled are really, really impressive. And we actually took Mayor Byland down there in her first couple of weeks. Were you even sworn in yet? She wasn't even mayor yet. Look, we need to take you to the EOC for a tour so that your first time there isn't with a storm looming, just so she can see the operation. And it's truly impressive. And they have blue sky, all of these folks there have blue sky rolls and they have gray sky rolls, and it depends on if there's a storm coming in, what the emergency activation is. But it is, when we make decisions and make announcements about evacuations and closures, that is not done in a vacuum. There is a lot of expertise and a lot of really experienced, skilled people in the room that are making those decisions. So please listen to us. Thank you.
I'm so glad you didn't put me on the spot
I know.
where my city begins and ends. Dutton Island, if you're on the west side of Mayport Road, Dutton Island North is City of Jacksonville. If you're on the east side of Mayport Road, it kind of meanders a little bit farther up. I think the biggest challenge in dealing with the consolidated government is, and I know everybody knows this, most of your ad valorem taxes go to the City of Jacksonville, because they then provide services, starting with things like the courthouse, and then for some of us, we get free fire service. And, oh, you know, oh, I'm sorry, well, I know Neptune Beach does, I apologize, you're right.
Tipping fees.
Yeah, the free tipping fees, no tipping fees, and so on. So the challenge is that we're not all treated the same on the interlocal agreements that we have with the City of Jacksonville. And so you'll understand that right now we are sitting down. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and state it now. We have a meeting with the Deegan administration this Friday to go over our interlocal agreement. We began this odyssey a year ago, and everything got bumped every time. You know, we were spending $1 billion for a stadium, can't talk now. We're doing a budget, can't talk now. So we are finally engaging with the Deegan administration on behalf of Atlantic Beach, and I think Neptune Beach may be doing something as well. But we need to iron this out. We need fairness for what we're paying, because there are things in Atlantic Beach that we're paying for twice.
I would say, to dovetail off of what Mayor Ford just said, is that the benefit is money and the downfall is money. It's really all money. And, you know, arguably, you know, we're not getting free fire, even though we do not have a fire station in Neptune Beach. Our fire station is in Atlantic Beach, but it's not Atlantic Beach's fire station. It's Jacksonville's fire station, and so Jacksonville Fire Station serves Atlantic Beach and Neptune Beach, so it's not really free. But you know, it's difficult, right? When you're arguing over dollars and responsibility, and whose responsibility is it to pave this road or replace that culvert, or, you know, or replace a bridge, or, you know, there are all kinds of issues that I'm learning about now. And so money really is the biggest challenge for us, and it's not unique to Neptune Beach. It's really all three beaches, and we are to the table on the interlocal agreement. And you know, we'll see how that goes. That remains to be seen. I'll, you know, stay tuned for more news, hopefully in March, because that's when we'd really like to have things kind of ironed out, is in this first quarter of the year.
And I'm going to add really quickly to that. When I mentioned the forms of governments that we have, so out here we all have city manager, city council forms of government. So your city manager works at the pleasure of the city council, where in Jacksonville it's a strong mayor city council form of government. So every 4 years you may have a complete turnover, and they turn over all sorts of people in their administration. So they lose a lot of institutional knowledge. You lose those relationships that you may have had, so you kind of have to start from scratch. So it's the benefit to us to have city managers and city staff that provide some consistency over the years. They're not thinking in 4-year increments like a stronger form of government, maybe. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Kathy Prosser. I live at Jacksonville Beach, but this question is for Neptune Beach. Probably your city manager. I have taken yoga classes at the Senior Center of Neptune Beach for probably 20 years. For years and years, we met in that old building. And then while it was being, whatever you want to say, rebuilt, refurbished, we met in different parks. Cold weather, hot weather, rain. And then we got to go back. And then something else happened. And I understand there's controversy about spending the money on the senior center that I really don't understand because it offers so much more. And now the city's letting us have our yoga classes at Jarboe Park, which I appreciate. But there's only one room. Whereas at the senior center, we're having yoga, people are playing poker over there, people are getting ready to go downtown to a concert over here. What's the status and what's the holdup? And let me first say, although I'm from Jacksonville Beach, many of us made a contribution personally towards that building. It's not just a city building.
I got it, Ricky. Yeah. If you need to hold me up after, you can, but I think I got this one. So we did. We had the senior center, at the end of Forest Boulevard. We voted there. We all kind of got used to it. The lifeguards had their socials there, and so we kind of knew that building. For whatever reason, that building was found to be insufficient or bad in some way. They raised it. And I'm not going to get into whether or not that was a good or bad decision. I wasn't involved in that decision. But we got the new senior center, and I'm just going to be real frank with everybody. It was the situation was mishandled a bit. So what happened was they put the senior center there, and the senior center sat there for a little while, and there was water intrusion. And we didn't really know that there was water intrusion because the building was not occupied. So we had our grand opening a little bit more than a year ago at our senior center, and it was really nice. I was there. We've got a beautiful porch, and they have wonderful activities there. They have the yoga, they have the canasta. I didn't know about the poker, but they have all kinds of activities for the seniors. And our senior activity director is great. I mean, she plans trips. They go to the Pops concert at the symphony and everything. And then sometime around August of this year, we were actually having a campaign event, and it was right around that time when it was noticed that there was water intrusion. And I saw the stains on the wall and talked to Leslie, and so they brought people in and they found that there was water leak. So we're working on it. And right now, temporarily, services are going to have to be in Neptune House until we can get you all back into the senior center, and we anticipate that that's going to be sometime in April. Everything takes a long time, and that's just kind of with everything. But everything takes a long time to fix. But we do have the money to fix the senior center because we have a pot of money that is set aside only for the senior center. So we do have the resources to rehab that center, and there is only one plan, and that's to get everybody back into that senior center. So there is that. There is some level of controversy, and it's on social media and everything like that. But as far as our city hall and our budget process and reality, there's really no controversy as to how we're going to move forward with the senior center. It is being rehabbed, and you all will be back in there. And it's inconvenient, it's inconvenient to have it at Neptune House rather than the new senior center, and I apologize for the inconvenience. I apologize to everybody for the inconvenience. I've been over to Neptune House, and they are carrying on.
you know, and the true spirit of Neptune Beach, we are persevering. But, you know, that's the answer.
Thank you. And I'll report to my friends at Yoderman.
What's the buy-in on that poker game? I'm asking for Mayor Ford, he didn't want to. I want to really quickly though, I think you touched on something and you mentioned earlier the Beaches Leader is discontinuing its print edition. I don't have to tell you guys how important factual local news is to a strong community. All three of us are standing here in front of you. We all shop at grocery stores here in our community together. You see us out in the community. Please do not hesitate if you hear something or you see something on social media to call someone who actually knows the answer. We are too easy for you guys to reach, to not do that, or to get upset about something without, you may be rightfully upset and we will let you know that, but I think take the time to actually call your city council representative, call city staff and ask the question. Do not let social media get you riled up. We have too many great things going on in this community to get mad about something, and I won't mention any names, but y'all know who I'm talking, most of y'all know who I'm talking about. Okay.
Hello. My question is for all three of you. As an EV owner, we have 2 electric vehicles. We love the beaches area, all 3 of you. EV charging is a big problem in this area. In Jack's Beach, you have a level 3 charger that's non-functional, has been for several years, right in front of the city hall. And in front of the police station, you have a level 2 charger that's been non-functional for several years. Thankfully, in Neptune Beach, you have only 2 chargers in the town center, and then people will park in them and not charge. What is your plan to address, with the number of EV vehicles that exist in the area, you see them all over, what is your plan to either encourage companies to bring in chargers, to somehow fund it? Have you thought about it, and do you have a plan?
So the non-functioning EV chargers that you were mentioning were donated by the company. This predates my city manager's tenure with the city, but they donated these chargers and they would just make the money, so you swipe a card, plug in your car, whatever. So they fell into disrepair. The companies are nowhere to be found, and so now we have these spots that are painted green for charging, and those chargers don't work. So, fun fact, just park in those spots. No one's going to tell you. Right? Right? Yeah? Probably not. That's where I park. So don't park there. Leave the spot for me. Just kidding. So we did attempt it with the support of this company. They fell into disrepair. We can't find them. There was no plan for them. So to answer your question, what's the plan? I would say there is no plan for EV charging in Jacksonville Beach. Mike is just giving me like, look.
Most of what we're seeing is private development.
Yeah.
Running chargers on their property, such as
Whole Foods has a charger, and we also have condos that want to put chargers in their garages, and that is problematic to the fire marshal. And all you have to do is Google EV chargers in condo garages, and you will be right there with it.
Yeah, 2 of the hotels in the area have put in chargers. And the company you're talking about, the level 3 chargers, EVgo, and they have chargers all around the country. So, however it was donated and so forth, that company is very viable, their charges are very effective. And the other one is ChargePoint, and that's the ones that exist in Neptune Beach. So they are there, and you could get them restored and in operation. So I'm just, as a concerned EV owner, I don't have a gas car anymore, and we love spending time in all 3 of your communities.
So
We'd like to see you address it.
We'll look into that. Last I heard, we were unable to get the companies to take responsibility for their
the chargers that were put in Jack's Beach are so old that they don't repair those anymore. If we wanted new chargers, we would have to go out and buy the chargers ourselves, install them, and enter into new agreements for long-term maintenance.
Gotcha.
So the chargers in Neptune Beach, I believe, are on private property. They're our chargers. Okay, well that's better than I would have done. Because I will tell you, honestly, that's the only way I do, is the plan for EV charging for me would be there is no plan.
because, in Neptune Beach, we are 2.2 square miles, and, I just feel like people can charge and then come and enjoy our town center, and so I think that it's great that we have the 2 spots that we have, and I would hesitate to say that, people with electric vehicles should have priority parking over just everybody else. I mean, it's kind of, a dog-eat-dog world out there with our parking situation. So, that's just kind of the way the world is with our parking. And so I'm actually glad and proud to know that we have the 2 spaces that we have. So, my plan would be maintain those.
Use them 2 hours ago, they work great, thank you.
Yeah.
So my answer is Mr. Stephanopoulos, Mr. Killingsworth, Mr. Pike. Can you guys get together and work this out, please?
City manager reports it.
We actually have had minimal discussion, but it has come up, and I'm just going to echo. Pardon? Oh, I'm going to identify that. Be careful on that one. But the problem is, I can't imagine. We already have a problem with parking in town center, and to your point, sir, is people are going to park in that spot that aren't EVs. Okay? And then if you enforce them, let's say we tow them, okay? This is untenable. And so the question is, how do you solve this? Because the future is more electric vehicles. But I do want to say this because I'm so proud to announce that we're the only city at the beach that has an EV charger at City Hall for free. So just everybody, drive over to Atlantic Beach, hook up at City Hall, and it's free.
Hi, Brandon. I'm a Neptune Beach resident, but I work in Atlantic Beach. A question for Mayor Ford and Deegan. With the population growth in Atlantic Beach West and the improvements on Bayport Road when it gets repaved, I mean, it's looking good. But with Terry's grocery store gone, they're hurting a little bit from a lot of the residents in the conversation. Is there any initiatives, talk, any ideas, something coming?
That's a big one. I have to start out with a reference point that we're not in the business of running grocery stores. Okay, we're a city. But what can we do, whether, if there's a food desert in Jax Beach or Neptune Beach or Atlantic Beach, what can a city do? And I had this conversation actually in the past week or so with City Manager Killingsworth. We do have, part of it is, how much land do you need, okay, for a grocery? And if it's a Publix, you need more. I think Publix, you need 5 acres because they usually do a strip center with it. And all these might be done with as little as 3 acres. But where do we have a big piece of land to do this? And do we have a developer willing to develop and then work it out with a grocery? And I actually had this discussion with Cayenne Michael recently, and I asked her to help me out and engage some of the smart people. What's his name that owns all the strip centers in your city? Slane. Tony Slane would be one that we actually had already met with, and I asked her to get back with Tony and see, because you'll understand, all of the grocery chains, they all have their studies. They know what's going on in Atlantic. I mean, as far as demographics and so on. What I don't know, and accordingly, they either would have a grocery or they wouldn't because it's not viable. What I don't know, to your point question, is have they taken into account the 500 families that are moving into all those apartment buildings, right? And then and that's on the east side of Mayport Road, and then the rest of the development going on the west side of Mayport Road. So I think maybe the demographics have changed sufficiently. I hope it has. And then to further that cause, I actually brought it up to City Manager. We own 2, not huge parcels, but we own 2 parcels of land that aren't even in our city. They're in the city of Jacksonville Beach off Mayport Road, one of which could be part of an assembly of land to put in a grocery. So I'm all for it. I would do anything I can to support it. And just so everybody knows, technically in the city of Atlantic Beach, we're not in a food desert. The food desert is on Mayport Road, farther north in the city of Jacksonville. But I take it seriously, and I hope my sisters here do as well. Everything this side of the intercoastal is our island, and I seek to help all citizens, whether they're in Atlantic Beach or Jacksonville.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Oh, sorry. Go
One of the
ahead.
problems with it is when you're a grocery store, a commissary becomes your competition.
Yeah.
So maybe if you did a survey of how many people live in that area who are not military. that
Or we could just move the extra Publix from Neptune Beach up there. I'm a solutions oriented. No, it's Doublix. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Maria, this is yours.
That's okay. So we have time for one more question. We're really running past the time I really wanted to, so.
Last question.
I know.
No pressure.
I'm sorry it's not going to be a better question. Amelia Cerulli, I live in Jacksonville Beach. I live in South Jacksonville Beach on a one-way street. And the wrong-way traffic on the one-way streets has just gotten out of control. Not to mention the e-bikes, but I won't even go there. And what I have found is there's a major lack of signage, but more importantly, Google Maps will send people the wrong way on the one-way street. I have no control over Google Maps. We have a lot of new people moving, I'm sure you do. A lot of new people coming to the beaches who have no idea that it's a one-way street, and it's becoming a real problem. And dangerous.
Is this in the area behind Palms Presbyterian? Or what part, where are you?
First Street.
First Street, okay, oh, okay. So the first thing to do, I would say, first things first, is to notify our police department because...
They do, they come and they sit and then they go.
Okay.
There's nothing to do. I mean,
Does anyone have a number for Google?
I know, this is a problem.
Yeah, we'll look into that because that's a huge issue. Because when I put Google Maps on, what is it, Michael Scott? I'll drive right into a lake if it tells me to. Like, people will follow that.
Yeah, they're not looking at the sign.
They're not looking at the sign. So we'll look into that a little further and see what we can do about that. I don't know if we're going to be able to do anything strong enough to fight Google, though, if Google Maps, if that's what they're using. But we can try. I think we had our last question, Mr. Ron.
You just need some software that will broadcast on Google Maps to get off this road.
Software that will broadcast onto, that we can get that in the budget with the portal, like Neptune Beach. Thank you. Great suggestion. Thank you.
All right, I have one last request. For those who are physically able, if you could help us stack the chairs over there, that would be a big help in us getting the room cleaned up. Thank you very much for coming.